Welcome. My name is Karen Wolf, and I'm delighted to be here to interview the York-Simcoe candidates that are running in the 2025 provincial election. I'm going to be asking a number of questions around issues that you've told us are important to you. And at the end of the Q&A, each candidate is going to have 2 minutes to share their party's platform with you.
My name is Frank Colavecchia, and I'm candidate for Ontario Moderated Party.
Let's talk about the U.S. tariff threat that is of great concern for Ontario's economy. Please describe any additional non-tariff measures your party has planned.
We need to get less dependent from U.S. industrial product instead of export material to U.S. We should go back to ready to do our own product. We need to process the material our own.
Okay, thank you. Given that tariffs are going to have a very negative impact on Ontario's economy, what should the Ontario government do to support Ontario companies?
We need to ignore U.S. sanctions against Russia, China, and Iran and start shipping our goods there. We lose billions of dollars by enjoying their sanction.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to move into health care. Ontario residents are expecting unacceptable wait times in emergency departments for urgent care and diagnostic imaging appointments, especially MRIs. Specifically, describe how your government would clear up these bottlenecks.
We try to feed the people a good product, less chemical. That way we can keep them healthy, and then they don't get sick as much. And also give them the ability to interact like with each other. Example, Amish, they have a good lifestyles without too many complications. And to clear like the backlog, hopefully we're going to take one step at a time and try to and do it quickly as possible.
Thank you. Next, let's talk about the economy and housing affordability. Many Ontarians are unable to afford affordable housing, they can't afford to purchase a home, and many cannot afford the cost of a rental unit. As a result, Ontario is experiencing a homelessness crisis across the province. If your party were to form the next government, how would you resolve this crisis? Please be specific.
We're trying to build smaller houses. We try to invest more in Ontario, and then let the government not to give them more for more expensive houses. That's all.
Okay. Let's talk about food security. Prices in all sectors of the economy have escalated and are expected to escalate further. This is having a huge impact on all Ontarians, but specifically those who are restricted by fixed incomes and low wages. Food banks are bursting at the seams. What affordability and food security plans does your party have to help our most vulnerable citizens?
We need to admit that the real inflation is not 2%. Bank of Canada started but around 10%. The low wage and fixed income like pension and so should be protected against the inflation of the same as 10% each.
All right. Lake Simcoe is an important natural feature in our community, and its health is important to the residents of this riding. Please tell us what your plans are to assure us that the health of Lake Simcoe will receive priority consideration in your government?
We will put more money in improving the outdated sewage treatment plant municipality around the Lake Simcoe.
Okay, thank you. The province is currently moving forward with the 404 and 400 link, which is also known as the Bradford Bypass. Are you supportive? Please tell us why or why not.
We do not support the link. Still save Newmarket will reduce grievance by going very slow through the heavy traffic of Newmarket, and it was supported building last 20 years ago.
Thank you. Okay, you now have 2 minutes to share your party's platform with our audience.
Yes. Like I was saying before, our party has a very different view than the other parties, and we try to help everybody. How can we do that? We have to help young people to get stronger and give them like the ability to learn and in school. After that, they come out of school, give them jobs, and try to support them all, like from the beginning till they get married. And then after they get married, we still have to support them because everybody needs help. Not everybody has a good days, and when they have the good days, that's fine. When they have bad days, we should support them the same. And the government should have different building, different people to try to help every kind of people that they need help. And no candidate, they're talking about criminal organization that they've been doing a very good job taking away the people's money and for themselves. And the government did very little so far. There's not very good laws regarding the criminals. They've been stealing cars, they've been stealing property, and also they need the help to be accountable. They're using our roads, which they've taken away like from the people that they go to work from early in the morning to late at night. That's not right for those people that work very hard or anybody else. We should support the homeless. We should give them whatever they need. Thank you very much. And my name is Frank Colabatia from Ontario Majority Party, and I'm hoping February 27 that you're going to vote for me, and I will make the real change, I promise.
Brent Fellman, New Blue Party of Ontario.
Let's talk about the U.S. tariff threat that is causing great concern for Ontario's economy. Please describe any additional non-tariff measures your party has planned.
Well, I mean, we would be doing the same things whether there were tariffs going on or not. So basically, we want to get rid of the regulatory burden on businesses. We want businesses to be able to run their businesses easier. We want, just things like getting licenses, getting permits, that sort of stuff. Let's get rid of the red tape, and that will help them in this business environment. We'd also want to get rid of some taxes. We want to lower taxes. Corporate taxes eventually balance themselves out anyway, so we'd want to lower taxes. We would also want to get rid of the industrial carbon tax, which is, we hear a lot about the carbon tax. That was actually a New Blue policy way back when. The leaders of our party actually came up with that axe the tax. But there's actually an industrial carbon tax, which taxes all industries. So, for instance, steel, they get charged on an industrial carbon tax, so we would want to get rid of that.
Okay. Given that tariffs are going to have a very negative impact on Ontario's economy, what should the Ontario government do to support Ontario companies?
Well, for those companies that where we're going to actually do reciprocal tariffs back, we should use that money from those reciprocal tariffs, give it to those industries in form of tax relief. So, I mean, for instance, again, let's talk about steel. If they are going to be tariffed at, let's say, 25%, they're going to lose some customers south of the border because they're going to have higher prices. So if we have lots of steel here, so that's okay. We can do a reciprocal tariff on that, but that tariff money needs to go to those industries in tax relief, and that's what we would do.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about health care. Ontario residents are experiencing unacceptable wait times in emergency departments for urgent care and diagnostic imaging appointments, especially MRIs. Specifically, please describe how your government would clear up these bottlenecks.
Well, at the end of the day, what you need is more personnel, you need more equipment, and maybe some more walk-in clinics, and maybe some more private clinics. And that's one of the things that the New Blue is for, is let's have some more private clinics, let's have that as a private option, while at the same time still supporting the public system that everyone uses. We won't go weak on the public system, but let's offer more private places where you can actually access an MRI and have OHIP being able to use those private clinics. And the personnel issue, I mean, we hear a lot about doctors and nurses. Well, how are we going to pay for that? We need to look at the administration, duplication. It's very heavy. Our healthcare system has a lot of heavy administration. We need to look at it. We have administrators making $500,000. Could they not make $300,000? Let's just say cut administration by 25% and we'll use that money.
Thank you. We're going to talk about the economy and specifically housing affordability. Many Ontarians are unable to find affordable housing. They can't afford to purchase a home, and many cannot afford the cost of a rental unit. As a result, Ontario is experiencing a homelessness crisis across the province. If your party were to form the next government, how would you resolve this crisis? Please be specific.
Well, we got to ask ourselves what caused this problem in the first place. And the one issue that nobody really wants to talk about is we've had excessive immigration. And one of the policies that the New Blue wants to address is we want the province to have more control over immigration. That's what Quebec does. Why not in Ontario? We should set our own limits of how many people we need, what type of people we want to have. But if you have, it's all about demand. If you have an excessive number of people coming here at one time, and we just don't have the housing for it, it should be connected to infrastructure. So we look at the number of houses that we built last year, and that's how many people we can take in. And we need to have some connection to housing and the amount of people we take in. Another thing that we recommend in terms of even rental pricing is landlords are really scared to get into the game. We want 30 days. If you're not paying your rent and if you have damaged your property, give landlords more power, and they will open that up.
Okay, let's talk about food security. Prices in all sectors of the economy have escalated and are expected to escalate further. This is having a huge impact on all Ontarians, but specifically those who are restricted by fixed incomes and low wages. Food banks are bursting at the seams. What affordability and food security plans does your party have to help our most vulnerable citizens?
Well, I mean, food, if you have more food, the prices will come down. So we have to produce more food. To produce more food, we have to protect our farmland. The PCs right now are not protecting our farmland. There's I think it's about 800 acres or so out in Waterloo. The Ford government is expropriating land without the landowner's consent, and they want to build up some sort of mega complex there. And so, I mean, if you want to support food, you have to support farmland. And, this is a family of people that want to keep their land, transfer it to the next generation. We should not be expropriating land. So the New Blue would protect farmland. I mean, food, we need to be more versatile. The whole tariff thing has brought up a real problem. How versatile are we in producing food, especially over the winter? We need more greenhouses. We need to produce more food. We need to focus on local food and local farmers.
Lake Simcoe is an important natural feature in our community, and its health is important to the residents of this riding. Please tell us what your plans are to assure us that the health of Lake Simcoe will receive priority consideration by your government.
Yes, Lake Simcoe is very important to us, but how do you keep it going well? You need to basically do one thing, monitor, and you also need to have more wetland and protect the wetlands. When I did my engineering training, I learned how valuable wetlands are to filtering out all of the runoff, whether it's from farms or from roads. Wetlands soak all that in, they're like a sponge. And we have to protect our wetlands, we have to expand them, and we have to make sure that anywhere where there's a runoff, we have it going through vegetation. We have to allow nature to clean it up. And once it goes into the wetland, the microorganisms in there, they eat up all the pollutants. They clear things up and they get it ready so that they filter it out so then it'll go cleaner into Lake Simcoe. And that's what we would do. We would protect wetlands and we would increase funding for monitoring everywhere where water goes into these wetlands and then into Lake Simcoe.
All right. The province is currently moving forward with the 400 and 404 link, which is also known as the Bradford Bypass. Are you supportive? Tell us why or why not.
Well, I've had mixed feelings about the Bradford Bypass, but from talking to residents, it is needed. There's a lot of congestion here. In Bradford, where I live, you go up Yonge Street there, Highway 11, there's a ton of congestion. I hear people in East Gwillimbury on the Queensville Side Road and Mount Albert Road. There's a ton of congestion. We need it. It's just, we have to do it. I'm not supportive of the 413 though, but I am supportive of the Bradford Bypass.
Okay, thank you. At this point, we now invite you to take 2 minutes to share your party's platform with our viewers.
Well, thank you. My name is Brent Fellman. I live in Bradford. I have 3 boys and my wife. We're having our 30th wedding anniversary this year. We live with my mother-in-law and my dog, Fielder. Basically, why would you vote for me? Well, I'm a certified math, science, and phys ed teacher. I ran a business for 20 years. I'm still involved in my wife's family business, so I'm familiar with business. I've been a teacher for 25 years. I've been involved in the community. I was president of the Innisfil Minor Baseball Association for 6 years. I've been on that board for about 13 years, so I'm very highly involved in the community. I ran for deputy mayor of Bradford. This is my 3rd election. I'm getting pretty experienced with this political thing. I'm doing not bad these days. With regards to the New Blue Party, why would you want to vote for the New Blue Party? We're not controlled by lobbyists. All the other parties, they are controlled by big money, big lobbyists. They do what the lobbyists tell them to do. And if, like Doug Ford and the PCs, they're not run by Doug Ford. They are run by the lobby groups that support Doug Ford and his party. We don't do that. We had a meeting back in the summer. It was grassroots people. Anyone could bring in policies. And we voted. We had voted on 42 policies. You can go on the New Blue website and check them all out yourself. We want lower taxes. Like I said, we want to protect farmland. We want to make sure that our energy is reliable. We want to focus on nuclear. We want to focus on hydro. And we want to get away from wind turbines, which waste a lot of our money. These wind turbines are going, and we're paying for it even when we don't need it. And then we have to sell it to Quebec and New York at a loss. We have to be smarter in how we spend our energy. And basically, we want to make sure our whole goal is you as a citizen have more power. When the lobby groups are in control, you as a citizen lose power, and we want the power to go back to you.
Hi, my name's Justin Graham. I'm your candidate for the Ontario NDP in York-Simcoe riding.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the U.S. tariff threat that is causing great concern for Ontario's economy. Please describe any additional non-tariff measures your party has planned.
So I think when it comes to tariffs, I think it's a good reminder of how much we need to care about our local and our provincial businesses. We need to buy Canadian. We need to support Canadian, and I think it's brought us closer together as a country, as a province, and we will continue to grow as Canadians. With their tariffs or not, we are strong, and we will continue on.
Thank you. Given that tariffs are going to have a very negative impact on Ontario's economy, What should the Ontario government do to support Ontario companies that might be impacted?
So my party is introducing a prospect of a monthly grocery allowance to help combat our large grocery prices at the stores. I think that's one of the main concerns. We have high grocery prices, and it's hard to feed your family nowadays, and I think that's a huge concern to us.
Thank you. We're going to move on to healthcare. Ontario residents are experiencing unacceptable wait times in emergency departments for urgent care and diagnostic imaging appointments, especially MRIs. Specifically, please describe how your government would clear up these bottlenecks.
Well, I think through the many years of underfunding to our healthcare system, I think it's imperative that we need to invest. We need to invest in our healthcare system. We need to invest in our healthcare professionals. I think my party wants to hire more nurses, more doctors, and get more boots on the ground in order to help us. The waits are, they're just not. Sorry, tongue-tied for words, but at the end of the day, it's not a smooth healthcare system, and the fact that we should be able to get seen when it comes to this part of our life when we need the help. We need to have the help there for us.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on to the economy and housing affordability. Many Ontarians are unable to find affordable housing. They can't afford to purchase a home, and many cannot afford the cost of a rental unit. As a result, Ontario is experiencing a homelessness crisis across the province. If your party were to form the next government, how would you resolve this crisis? And please be specific.
Being specific is we're looking at making it so it's changing zoning bylaws in order to make it so we can have fourplexes in communities to allow a deeper sense of connectivity in communities and have a higher density population in these communities where we can provide transit and allow people to get to work, people to strive, make housing more affordable. By using the land that we have and accelerating that to allow more housing for people on that land.
All right. Food security. Prices in all sectors of the economy have escalated and are expected to escalate further. This is having a huge impact on all Ontarians, but specifically those who are restricted by fixed incomes and low wages. Food banks are bursting at the seams. What affordability and food security plans does your party have to help our most vulnerable citizens?
Well, again, I'll head back to the monthly allowance to allow us to subsidize that cost at the grocery stores. I think it's something that we need to care about, and we need to care about that everyone's fed, everyone's comfortable, and everyone's safe.
All right. Lake Simcoe is an important natural feature in our community, and its health is important to the residents of this riding. Please tell us what your plans are to assure us that the health of Lake Simcoe will receive priority consideration by your government.
So the lake is near and dear to me as a resident of 40 years here in Georgina. The lake is, it's our playground. It's our natural resource. It's our ecosystem. Without the lake, it would be devastating for our communities. It would impact jobs. What we would do is try our best to make sure that the health of the lake is first, in our forethought and first on the list to make sure that we have a striving community, striving businesses, and educate people about why we need this ecosystem.
Okay. The province is currently moving forward with the 400 and 404 link, also known as the Bradford Bypass. Are you supportive? Why or why not?
You know what? I'm not supportive. At the end of the day, I've been here for 40 years, as I said. I watched the extension of the 404. The 404 was over budget and took twice as long, maybe 3 times as long as they said it would. Who knows how many piles you have to drive into a swamp, and at the same time, that swamp is the food basket of Ontario. I want to say there's about an 80% of the vegetables that people consume in Ontario come from the Holland Marsh. I think this would be devastating to our ecosystem for the lake, devastating to our food security, and I just don't think that I think that it's going to take much longer than what they say it's going to take, and it's going to cause huge impacts to our ecosystem and to our daily lives.
Okay. At this point, you have 2 minutes to share with our readers your party's platform and why they should vote for you on February 27th.
Like I said again, I've been a local here for a long time. I have nothing but all the residents in Georgina, East Gwillimbury, First Nations of Chippewas of Georgina Island, and Bradford, all at the forefront of my thought. And I want to be there to represent you. I want to be able there to be your voice, and I hope you give me that opportunity. And I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time, and I'm humbled by the experience.
Hi, my name's Alana Hollander, and I'm running for the Ontario Party.
Let's talk about the U.S. tariff threat that is causing great concern for Ontario's economy. Please describe any additional non-tariff measures your party has planned.
To address the concerns of the raising of the tariff situation between the U.S. and Canada, our party will implement several non-tariff measures aimed to strengthen Ontario's economy and reduce its vulnerability to external trade disputes. Firstly, we will reduce economic dependence on the U.S. by expanding trade partners within Canada and internationally. By diversifying our trade relations, we will mitigate the impacts of tariffs and ensure the more stable economic environment on Ontario businesses. Secondly, we will eliminate interprovincial trade barriers by enabling Ontario businesses to trade freely within Canada. This will allow businesses to grow and thrive without being overly reliant on international trade. Additionally, we will develop Ontario's northern infrastructure through the James Bay Port.
Okay, given that tariffs are going to have a very negative impact on Ontario's economy, what should the Ontario government do to support Ontario companies that may be impacted?
To support Ontario companies facing negative impacts due to tariffs, our party will implement several measures to aim to provide financial relief and foster innovation. First, we will revive the Bank of Ontario and offer low-income loans to businesses, homeowners, and infrastructure projects. This will provide much-needed support for businesses affected by the tariffs, helping them maintain operations and investment in growth. Additionally, we will provide generous tax benefits and wage subsidies to businesses in the agricultural, food service, and manufacturing sectors by steadily supplying affordable food products.
Thank you. We're going on to healthcare. Ontario residents are experiencing unacceptable wait times in emergency departments for urgent care and diagnostic imaging appointments, especially MRIs. Specifically, please describe how your government would clear up these bottlenecks.
To address the unacceptable wait times in emergency departments and for diagnostic imaging appointments, such as MRIs, our party will implement a multifaceted approach aimed at increasing efficiency, expanding capacity, and leveraging innovation solutions. First, we will increase public hospital bed capacity and hire thousands more healthcare workers. This will help alleviate the pressure in emergency departments by ensuring patients who need to be admitted are moved out of the emergency department quickly, freeing up space for new arrivals. Secondly, we will streamline the process of accreditation for foreign trade healthcare professionals by making it easy for qualified professionals from other countries to work in Ontario. We can quickly increase the numbers of healthcare providers to treat patients. Additionally, we will open more spots in Canadian medical schools.
Okay, on to the economy and housing affordability. Many Ontarians are unable to find affordable housing. They can't afford to purchase a home, and many cannot afford the cost of a rental unit. As a result, Ontario is experiencing a homelessness crisis across the province. If your party were to form the next provincial government, how would you resolve this crisis? And please be specific.
Firstly, We would give property owners the freedom to construct 2- and 4-unit residential buildings in neighborhoods traditionally reserved for single-family homes, thereby increasing the supply of affordable housing options in Ontario's most housing-deprived cities. Secondly, we would secure the same right to set immigration policies as the province of Quebec. By adjusting immigration rates and settlement patterns, we can reduce unsupportable housing demand in many Ontario urban areas. This will help alleviate the pressure on housing markets and make homes more affordable for Ontarians. Additionally, we will establish an Ontario-focused foreign purchase ban on residential homes. This measure will prevent foreign investors from driving up housing prices and ensure the homes are available for local residents.
Thank you. Prices in all sectors of the economy have escalated and are expected to escalate further. This is having a huge impact on all Ontarians, but specifically those who are restricted by fixed incomes and low wages. Food banks are bursting at the seams. What affordability and food security plans does your party have to help our most vulnerable citizens?
Firstly, we will reduce the provincial sales tax by 3% to lower the cost of goods and services. This will provide immediate relief for Ontarians, making everyday essentials more affordable. Secondly, we will provide generous tax benefits and wage subsidies to businesses in the agricultural and food service sectors. By supporting these industries, we can help stabilize food prices and ensure a stable supply of affordable food products. Additionally, we will establish a calculated food reserve to cushion against supply shocks and ensure that food banks have the resources they need to support our most vulnerable citizens.
Thank you. Lake Simcoe is an important natural feature in our community, and its health is important to the residents of this riding. Please tell us what your plans are to assure that the health of Lake Simcoe will receive priority consideration by your government.
We will focus on conservation, pollution reduction, and community engagement. Firstly, we will completely ban the dumping of untreated water into bodies of water. This measure will directly impact Lake Simcoe from harmful pollutants and ensure the water remains clean and safe for both wildlife and residents. We will provide municipalities with funding to upgrade sewage treatment facilities. By improving these facilities, we can significantly reduce the amount of pollutants entering Lake Simcoe, thereby enhancing the overall health and ecosystem.
Thank you. The province is currently moving forward with the 400 and 404 link, also known as the Bradford Bypass. Are you supportive? Why or why not?
Yes, I am supportive. And one reason I am supportive is I'm from the Holland Marsh. And I know the farmers down there mostly support this because they have to get their produce to market, and there's a lot of congestion along Yonge Street. So creating the bypass will alleviate the congestion on Yonge Street, and it'll move it to the bypass. And then the farmers can get their produce to market, because right now a lot of them have to go at night or late in the evening when there's not a lot of people around, so they can get their giant trucks across.
Thank you. Okay, at this point, you are welcome to take 2 minutes to share your party's platform with our viewers and tell them why they should vote for you on February the 27th.
Ontario is at a crossroads. Under Doug Ford, our province is broken. Crime is rampant, families can't afford to live, and our freedoms are under attack. It's time for real change. It's time to take Ontario back and put Ontario's first. So vote Ontario Party. Let's take Ontario back and put Ontarians first. Thank you.
I want to thank you for tuning in, and I think it should be noted that we have contacted all of the York-Simcoe candidates and invited them to participate in this program. Some were unable to do so, and some did not respond to our request. But we wish them well and success on February 27th. Please do not forget to vote.